take it inside for you, miss?
No, thank you. Mrs. Macclesfield is sending a conveyance to me.
It's a very comfortable parlor. Why don't you wait inside?
Oh, thank you. No, I'll take it. It isn't heavy. When I ran out of the inn at Billingshurst that night and found a carriage waiting there, my one desire was to escape from an experience no respectable female should be called upon to endure. In charity, I can only say the gentleman was the worse for liquor, and so mistook me for a female of quite a different character, whom he appeared to be expecting. Had I but known I was embarking on an adventure so grave, so gay perhaps, but I fear so scandalous, I would indeed have turned back in dismay. I thought the carriage was the property of Mrs. Macclesfield, by whom I had been engaged as governess for her little boy. Wilberforce, I believe his name was. What curious names parents give their children. Lulled by the wheels, I rested gratefully, thinking only how to please my new employer. Thank you, Mrs. Macclesfield. A most pleasant journey. So this is your small son. What a manly little fellow. And then we came to a dark and lonely house.
Good luck. You'll need it.
I trust I'm not too late.
Don't worry. He's been brought home later than this. Where is he?
I don't know. I thought he was here. When I answered the advertisement, I was told to come tonight.
Oh, well, if you've come, you've come. So you're the one. A bit different from the rest, I must say.
I think I'd better come back.
Better wait as you're expected.
Certainly the lady is expected. You came alone?
Why, yes.
Come in.
Is there something wrong?
You're not quite what I expected.
Well, I'm not aware of what they've said of me, but I'm very willing.
Yes, I'm sure of it.
I've had considerable experience.
Madam, you embarrass me. However, your qualifications will be tested to the full.
So I have been told.
Well, someone has been frank with you at any rate.
I assure you, sir, I have never failed to give satisfaction before. But I have heard the young gentleman is difficult.
It is obvious you have not met him.
Indeed, sir, you speak as if he were a monster.
Some call him that.
He has some deformity?
Physically, no. He is
Deranged?
not in the way you mean.
I fear I do not understand you, sir.
Brandy, madam, brandy. The boy is a drunkard.
A drunkard? Your little son?
My son?
Are we not talking of your son?
I have no son, madam, nor wife either.
Is this not Crawley Mead? Are you not Mr. Macclesfield?
This is High Noons, the property of my besotted cousin Eustace Cheviot, whom you, for a consideration, have come to marry. And I am here to stop it.
Marry?
Whatever your price, I will double it, if you return to London by the next coach.
I came to marry no one. I'm to be governess at Crawley Mead to the Macclesfield boy. Then who are you?
My name is Carlion.
But it was all arranged. Why, the coachman met me at the inn and drove me straight to... Oh.
You have obviously left to conclusions, madam. As the coachman did. As I did.
But I was to be there at 8 o'clock, and Mrs. Macclesfield would be very angry. I must leave at once.
Crawley Mead is beyond Billingshurst. I shall have to drive you there myself. My carriage.
It's out there now, my lord.
Thank you, Lord Carlion. I'm sorry to put you to such inconvenience.
It cannot be helped. Let us go. Was there no other lady on the coach? The kind that...
You took me for? No.
It's a branch of the great elm tree, my lord. There'll be a death in the house.
Confound your superstitions. Do we need an omen to remind us of that? Come.
You will forgive my curiosity, Lord Carlion, but why was I mean the other lady, to marry your cousin if they had never met?
Eustace hates me. I inherit the estate if he dies unmarried. So he sent for a woman to oblige.
I can understand why you hate him.
Heartily. For what he is, for what he does.
And for what he has?
You misjudge me, madam. This is pride, not greed. The family property should not be thrown away for spite. But you have troubles of your own, Miss...
Rochdale. My family property was thrown away. I'm alone. My father is dead, but his debts must be paid.
Rochdale. Rochdale of Marsh Hall. I'm sorry I did not connect the name. But how are you to pay his debts on £18 a year?
It's £18 a year more than I have now, my lord.
Whoa, whoa,
What are you up to, man?
Ned, thank heaven I found you.
Nicky, what are you doing here? Why aren't you at Oxford?
I've killed Cousin Eustace.
Eustace? How?
It was at the inn. There was a lady there and he was molesting her.
So the woman did come after all.
I think he means me.
Yes. Yes, it was. I tried to help her. He came at me with a knife. We struggled, but he fell and... the blade went into him. I didn't do it, Ned. You must believe me.
That won't help you. Did Hitchins see?
And no one saw. Eustace swears I killed him. He's going to sign a declaration.
Sign? Idiot, you said he was dead.
Well, Dr. Greenlaw said he was sinking fast.
You get back as quick as you can. You should never have left the place. To the inn at Billingshurst. My cousin still breathes?
Aye, my lord. Parsons here. A tragedy, my lord. I was to marry him tomorrow, and
Please
now...
don't leave yet, Mr. Wickham. And you, madam, come with me. How long, Dr. Greenlaw?
Half an hour, perhaps.
Wait here, please.
Greenlaw, the band.
Eustace, this is too vile a thing even for you to think of. You know this was none of Nicky's doing.
Then it was. And you put him up to it. You knew I was to marry.
I knew it, and I tried to stop it, but now that...
Witness that, Greenlaw. He would kill me rather than lose the estate. Well, if won, I die unwed. The estate is yours. When you walk in the garden, remember your brother was hanged for it. The pen.
No.
It is a dying request, my lord.
You can have your way. You can still marry.
The woman went away.
She's still here, and the parson, too.
No, Ned.
Silence.
What do you gain?
My brother's life. For that, I will surrender the estate. Marry the woman, destroy that declaration, and redeem yourself.
Ned, you cannot ask.
We can and we will. You wait outside.
Please don't listen to him.
I told you to wait outside. You must listen to me. He would rather hang you, see, than ask this small kindness of you. You will be a widow within the hour. You'll prevent a great injustice being done, and remember, the inheritance will pay your debts.
That would not persuade me.
Bargaining like usurers around my deathbed. Let him hang.
No. No, wait.
So you will have me then, till death us do part.
leave me no choice.
Wickham.
Right, take the hand of the groom.
Yes, it is delightful countryside, especially where my land joins yours. But don't imagine you've become rich overnight. The estate is mortgaged to the hilt, while the house...
It's full of cobwebs and black beetles, as I saw yesterday.
No doubt the responsibility would be great for one of your experience.
Lord Carlion, I was born and brought up in a larger house and had the management of it.
Good. It would please me greatly to see the house well cared for.
Naturally, it will always be my aim to please you, my lord.
You are very kind. And you will please do everything you can for Mrs. Cheviot's comfort.
I can't tell about comfort.
Thank you, Mrs. Barrows.
The state it's in. You know what Mr. Eustace was like.
Well, I'll try not to be too exacting, Mrs. Barrows.
Oh, well, that's something.
I shall glance through some of your husband's papers. If you need me, I'm in the book room.
Masterful. That's enough now. Away you go. She's new. His lordship got her up from the village for you.
Lord Carlion is most considerate.
Yes, I don't know what's come over him lately. I was going to put you into the great bedroom, but his lordship said not.
Indeed.
Certainly not, he says. Masterful.
Fool.
I beg your pardon. Oh, are you looking for something?
For some evidence of your solvency, ma'am. Have you seen over the house?
All except the great bedroom that appears to be locked.
I locked it. You may keep the key if you wish. I hardly thought you would care to occupy my cousin's bedroom.
Because of its sentimental associations?
Because of the delicacy of your feelings, ma'am. My cousin's way of life...
Lord Carlion, I am over 21 and a woman of the world.
Not his world, I think. I shall take these back with me to the manor house and examine them more closely.
Well, thank you, my lord, for engaging my servants, appointing my quarters, and making off with my papers. Is there nothing more you can do for me?
I can only hope that you'll be very happy.
Happy?
And not too lonely when I'm gone.
Gone?
Back to my own house.
Oh, yes, of course.
Well, High Noons is yours, but it's a lonely place for a lady. What a pity you have no friend who would come and stay with you.
It may comfort you, my lord, to know that I have friends.
Then write to one of them. I'll send for the letter and have it conveyed.
But
Write tonight.
I shall do exactly as I see fit.
Give that to Major Carlion as my acknowledgement.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Excuse me, sir, but is it anything about spies? Up at Oxford, the talk is all about spies.
Indeed. Then I must send some of my men up there disguised as proctors.
Oh, will you? Can I tell my brother, sir?
You can tell your brother that his request for an extension of leave will be dealt with through the usual channels. Good morning, Mr. Carlion.
Get out! What have you to say? Speak up, you idiot! And your tongue in your head.
Good morning, Colonel Strong.
As big a fool as he is. Or must I always...
Oh, Sir Malcolm. The Lordship's been asking for you urgently.
I thought he was on some gaming party with the Prince.
He's back.
Look for it, man. Look for it.
It sounds as if the luck of the table was against him.
Torrance! Torrance! Torrance!
All I have to tell you, Sir Malcolm, is this. When I came back here late last night to do some work, no doubt the rest of you were carousing at Almack's, I found my desk had been ransacked.
This is grave news, my lord.
Grave! The dispatch has gone.
You left it in your desk? The cabinet dispatch for Wellington.
If Strong and his bungling officers had been doing their duty, this kind of thing wouldn't have happened. No wonder Napoleon walked out of Elba.
That was scarcely Colonel Strong's responsibility. The missing document, on the other hand, is yours.
You may be Wellington's personal representative, Sir Malcolm, but I must remind you that I am aide-de-camp to His Royal Highness the Prince Regent. and entitled to a certain respect.
I tried to feel that respect, my lord.
In your own interest, Sir Malcolm, I advise you to find that piece of paper as quickly as possible.
Missing last night? Why the delay? He should have had the whole War Office running in an hour.
This is the third loss.
And the most vital, if that information reaches the French...
It may not have reached them yet. Just a moment, Colonel Strong. That worthless nephew of his was in his office yesterday.
Eustace Cheviot? I scarcely think...
Don't be too sure. He may be a go-between. Eustace Cheviot is impoverished, and he has some most undesirable friends among the French.
He has them no longer. He was killed in a tavern last night.
Killed? From Carlion, I see. The death of my unfortunate cousin. Not so unfortunate, perhaps. I was about to order his arrest. And now I think we shall have to see Carlion.
Surely you don't suspect Carlion.
I don't say that. But why is he so concerned about Eustace Cheviot's death? And he's asking for special leave. Why?
Carlion's a good soldier.
Nevertheless, we shall have to see him.
Very well, Sir Malcolm.
Who's that?
I'm sorry to disturb you, my lord, but...
Thank you, that's all. Major Carlion?
Yes?
I'm Major Forbes of the Provincial Marshal Department. I have an authority to escort you to London forthwith.
To escort me? I do not understand you, sir. I was about to retire.
I believe accommodation will be found for you elsewhere. My authority is, in fact, a warrant for your arrest.
Oh, Mrs. Barrows, when Lord Carlion's man comes, would you please give him this letter for London?
Yes, ma'am. It's after 11.
Yes, I was hoping you'd be in bed. We have another busy day tomorrow, you know.
I know it.
Oh, and would you wind up the clock in the book room?
Winding won't help that, creature. It's been showing 4:45 for the last 12 months. Shall I close the window?
No, thank you. I'll do it presently.
It feels like a storm. Nice and quiet here, isn't it?
Where's Master?
Who?
Master Eustace. I've got 12.
Oh, 12. 12 what? I mean, where?
Usual place. Unless you'd like one to be going on with.
Oh, no. One what?
One what, says she. One little barrel of cognac, says I. Not been 6 hours ashore and already stowed in the outhouse.
Brandy. Smugglers!
Come, missy, you not that innocent, or you'd not be in this house. I want my 20 guineas.
He's not here. He's away. Please, will you go?
Away, is he?
And take the brandy with you.
Oh, no. Couldn't do that. Regular customer, Master Eustace. He'd never forgive me. Tell him Scowler called and I'll see me knows where. Don't forget 20 guineas. Nice and quiet hereabouts for our business. Eh, missy?
Yes. Nice and quiet. Poor girl could not know what dreadful crime lay hidden in the shadows of the dark, silent house. Meanwhile, the hunchback was stealthily disposing of the body. He took it from a chest and cut it into pieces. But when he tried to sever the head, he could not, and was forced to wrap it with the torso in a piece of brown cloth. Then, with his gruesome load upon his back, he crept through the deserted corridor. He crept through the deserted corridors. He crept through the deserted corridors. He crept through the deserted corridors. Who are you?
It is very wet.
And very late, sir. I thought the servants were in bed.
They are. I came the usual way. Monsieur Chevillot and I are old friends. May I see him?
I'm afraid that is not possible. He met with an accident last night.
Is he ill?
He is dead, sir.
He is dead. Sapristi. I beg your pardon. I am much grieved, mademoiselle.
Madame, I was his wife.
Oh, I'm sorry I didn't know. If I may, I could help. I knew something of his business. Perhaps I could assist.
Thank you. My affairs are in the hands of Lord Carlion.
Carlion, oh, I see.
Perhaps you will leave by the front door.
Allow me, madame. I hope we meet again in less painful circumstances. My condolences.
And I shall want an inventory of the linen.
There's no inventory.
Oh. Oh, well, in that case... What's that tapping?
Mr. Nicky called. I told him we'd had a midnight visitor, and nothing would suit him but to go and look for secret passages.
Secret passages?
Aye.
Well, I suppose the man must have got in somewhere. And if all the doors and windows were barred...
Indeed they were.
Yes, yes, I'm sure they were. Still, he must have got in and... Oh, it stopped.
He'll be prowling around the garden. He'll be in the moment he smells breakfast. Well,
you will, burn these, Mrs. Barrows, and I'll be down directly.
Cousin Eleanor. This is wonderful. There's nothing like this at the manor. I was going to open the trap door and frighten you out of your wits. Only my foot slipped.
Oh, what a pity.
Oh, never mind. We'll have lots of fun with it yet. It's an old priest's hideaway, I think. And there's a passage goes right the way through to the garden to a door under the creeper. Oh, I wish this was at the manor.
So do I.
Just think. Ned merely asked me to call round and find out how you'd slept and do anything that I could. And I hear all about this. Is there breakfast?
Oh, yes. May I invite you to join me?
Thank you, cousin.
And then perhaps you'll feel strong enough to nail up the door under the creeper.
Then we shan't be able to use it again.
No, nobody will.
No. But then we shall never know who did it. Oh, look here, cousin. Let me keep guard in here tonight. I'm quite reliable, I can assure you. Well, I've got a new pistol that Ned gave me. Please.
Well, we shall have to ask your brother.
Oh, but we can't. Ned was off to London in the night.
Oh.
Oh, it was an army matter. Very urgent and secret. It wouldn't surprise me if Wellington himself wanted his advice.
Major Carlion, you have been tried for conduct unbecoming the character of officer and a gentleman, and are by sentence of a general court-martial found guilty thereof, and sentenced to be dismissed His Majesty's service at the head of your troops. This sentence has been confirmed by His Royal Highness the Prince Regent. The task of doing so has been assigned to me.
You are to wait on Colonel Strong.
Good. You did well.
Thank you, Major Carlion.
I shall remember for a long time the look in those men's eyes.
We've asked a different kind of courage from you. Believe me, it will not go unrecognized when we've achieved our purpose.
And shall we?
The French have used our discredited officers before. If the dispatch was in Cheviot's hands at high noon when he died, you're in the best position to find it.
And we think that they'll approach you.
Does Bedlington know of this plan?
No, the fewer in the secret, the better. By the way, your distinguished uncle is not in today. He feels your disgrace very keenly.
Pity he's less sensitive about his own. Have you seen what they're selling in the streets?
Lord Bedlington with Dyson wine, his weight in years defying, pursues a foreign lighter love, while Englishmen are dying.
Doggerel, Cousin Ned, doggerel.
But to the point, Cousin Francis.
As you say, to the point. And from the point to the flames.
And, gentlemen, highly insulting to my father.
We are conducting official business, Mr. Cheviot.
Oh. I had an idea your business with Lord Carlion was finished on the parade ground a few minutes ago. However, I only dropped in to see my father. I wanted his opinion on my new sage and parsley coat. You'll notice, gentlemen, that the collar sits much higher.
This is not the time to discuss coats, Mr. Cheviot.
Oh, isn't it? I think it is. Here, for instance, is something quite new in coats, with holes in it. I think I would have preferred the braid and trappings. Of course, I myself wouldn't be seen dead in military costume.
There is little chance of that, unfortunately.
Oh, I don't know. It might be amusing. There are few enough diversions left. This must be a welcome relief for you, cousin, from the excitements of bullets and cold steel. I congratulate you.
I can still use both, I assure you, should the occasion arise, cousin.
It may, cousin. It may. Perhaps one day we shall both have our swords.
Mr. Cheviot, what can I do for you?
Thank you. Nothing that my respected father cannot.
I'm afraid Lord Bedlington is not here yet.
Ah, still in bed, perhaps. Where, I wonder? Speaking of diversions, I hear of a new suicide club in Paris, where the young men cut the pack to see who shall destroy himself next. Very diverting. I was thinking of starting one here in London. Would you advise me to, cousin?
How lucky are you at cards?
Lucky enough to propose my relatives for membership. What an unsavory family we are, to be sure. Eh, Sir Malcolm?
There goes a dangerous man under his sage and parsley coat.
More dangerous than ever after this.
He's in Bedlington's room too much for my liking. You don't think...
He knows Madame de Chevreuse, at any rate.
A distinction shared by many. Yourself included, I believe.
I? Why, yes, I do know the lady, but there's nothing, I assure you.
No. In fact, it strengthens your position. She'll be more likely to approach you now. I can foresee only one difficulty. High Noons is occupied now by Eustace Cheviot's widow. Can...
You may rest assured, gentlemen. The lady will do exactly as I wish.
Nicky, he's here! Nicky, he's here! Pistol!
What's he been up to now?
He's got a bullet in his shoulder.
Put out his light.
He nearly put out yours.
Send for Dr. Greenlaw and come back and help me.
Go.
French gold.
Well, the bullet is out. Now, shall I bleed you?
He's already bled half a gallon.
I'm hungry. Gruel, sir. I'll ask my cousin. Mrs. Cheviot is in bed, and under my orders to stay there. You gave her a bad shock last night.
Going out so early?
I cannot wait to reach the tranquility of London, my lord, after the uproar of the country.
You're leaving? Then, of course, you must let me drive you. Where do you wish to go?
Oh, yes, indeed. Where can I go? I have no home of my own. To stay here is unthinkable. I shall visit my friend, Miss Beckles.
That, I'm afraid, is impossible. Because she has come to visit you.
Eleanor, Becky.
How lovely to see you.
Eleanor, darling, what a wonderful man. Wherever did you find him? He's brought you a whole carriage full of new gowns, and even some for me, too. Look. Half a day we spent yesterday deciding what would suit you. Did we not, my lord?
His lordship is very kind.
His lordship is divine. And oh, how he made the shop folk run. Oh, be very careful with that round pink box. It's mine. It's satin embossed with silver leaf. No, give it to me. I'll carry it myself. You're sure to drop it.
You still want to leave?
How can I?
How could you?
Very easily after what happened last night. Your brother was shot, sir. The doctor is with him now.
Just think. A French spy at high noons. And I nearly got him, Ned.
You missed him by a yard. And don't leap to conclusions. There isn't a scrap of evidence.
Well, what about the gold we found?
And from Nicky's description, it's the same man as I found wandering round the house.
From Nicky's description, he didn't see much of him.
No, I saw enough. 50 golden louis. Why, tonight, Eustace was selling secrets to the French.
Nicky.
Rubbish. Get the boy well again, and I'll take him out for a little pistol practice.
If you ask me, my lord, which you haven't, it was that Frenchie, Louis Nebel. He was always calling on Mr. Eustace.
Neville?
Yes, my lord.
You know him?
Only by repute. He claims to be a refugee from Napoleon.
Isn't he a friend of Madame de Chevreau?
What do you know about Madame de Chevreau?
Well, only what they say at Oxford.
And what did they say at Oxford?
Oh, nothing. Do you think he'll come back again?
Quite possibly. If there's something here he wants.
Then whatever it is, I shall search for it myself and leave it ready on the table for him. I want no more shootings in this house.
If you find anything, you will please hand it to me, unread.
Oh, then it is something to read.
You take me up too sharply, madam. I merely wish to spare you embarrassment.
As you wish to save me the embarrassment of the great bedroom, no doubt.
Then you did not heed my warning.
Lord Carlyon, I am not a child. I shall make the room my own, but I shall see that the secret door is secured against any further visits from armed men.
That will be very wise.
Oh, why do I stay in this madhouse?
Oh, Eleanor, look! Oh, you lucky, lucky creature.
Yes, dear.
Well, he hasn't wasted much time.
Who?
Lord Bedlington.
And who is he?
Eustace's uncle and guardian. And now, of course, yours.
Oh, so I have an uncle. Good. I'm in need of some responsible advice.
Advice? But I'm quite
Lord
capable
Carlyon, you have done quite enough. Indeed, I fear you must be in need of a rest. I shall receive Lord Bedlington in the book room.
Naturally, I guess.
You'd be well advised to keep out of sight.
Well, he's very happy this morning.
So is she. Oh, but you've been wounded. How fascinating. Was it in a duel?
A running fight.
Were there many of them?
Well, it's rather hard to say.
You must tell me all about it.
Lord Carlyon is here.
What's that? Carlyon here?
Yes, my lord. He's in the book room. Lord Bedlington, my lord.
So you're here. I should have thought a dishonored man would have kept to his own house. Why wasn't I told...
May I present Mrs. Cheviot, Lord Bedlington?
Your servant, ma'am. Why wasn't I told of Eustace's death? As his uncle, Mrs. Cheviot?
Eustace was married before he died.
Married? This isn't true.
It's quite true, my lord.
But he... Then you are in residence here, ma'am.
Mrs. Cheviot
I believe I can answer Lord Bedlington's questions.
Yes, but...
And ask some, too. Perhaps, Lord Carlyon, you will leave us.
You're going to need my advice.
I think not.
Perhaps you would prefer to dispense with my assistance altogether.
That would be quite acceptable to me. I bid you good morning.
You're very kind. And very pretty.
Am I? I was beginning to think I had nothing to commend me at all.
Have they treated you badly here?
Oh, I think that is too strong a word. Lord Carlyon is an unusual man.
He's a ruined man. You were wise to end your association with him.
Oh, yes, I suppose I was. But you see, I need someone I can rely upon.
Who's that?
Oh, he's a smuggler. I think he's trying to sell me brandy. You see what I mean? Anything can happen in this house. I need your advice.
And you shall have it, my dear.
Another glass of wine, my lord?
Yes, indeed, very pretty. A lot better than I should have expected from Eustace.
I fear that Eustace was scarcely consulted.
And a practical minx, too. Pretty and practical. Very rare indeed. Well, you have the property. And now you want my advice.
Yes, my lord.
My advice is... leave everything to me.
Do you think I should?
Everything. House, the estate, Eustace's letters and papers. I will see to them. You mustn't worry your pretty head.
You're very kind.
It will be difficult for me. The prince takes a great deal of my time, but I shall be able to fit you in.
Lord Bedlington.
Naturally, you will provide accommodation for me now and then.
Lord Bedlington, will you please go? I am not a practical minx. I do not like being fitted in, and I never provide accommodation. And if you compare me with any of your nephew's women again, I'll box your ears.
What, box my...
I have decided to manage my own affairs.
Why, you...
You see, my lord, I have entered an unfamiliar world. It is difficult for me to know whom I may trust.
A woman of your kind has no right to expect trust. Oh. We shall meet at the inquest.
Silence in court.
It is her association with Carlion that we should be getting at. Here is a woman who appeared from nowhere, and, to put the most charitable interpretation on it, gave herself in marriage to a man whom she did not know. A man whose expectation of life was a mere matter of minutes. I ask you why? I ask you what strange influence was brought to bear on her to persuade her to enact this gruesome ceremony. I ask you who was to benefit? If it was a matter of love, why should Lord Carlion come into the affair at all? Unless he were the lover.
My lord, please. You have been a friend of Lord Carlion's for a considerable time.
If you wish to know the truth of my acquaintance with Lord Carlion...
Your Honor, the lady is under a great strain. As I'm involved, perhaps I may be allowed to answer any further questions that might be put to her.
Thank you, my lord. I appreciate your point. Thank you, ma'am.
And to refute the aspersions that have been cast upon Mrs. Cheviot's birth, breeding, and morals, by one whose own morals, at any rate, are not beyond reproach.
Your Honor, this is infamous. This man was only recently dismissed from His Majesty's service with ignominy. That's a lie. Let him deny it.
I think we are straying from the point. Please, go on.
Mrs. Cheviot, Your Honor, has gained nothing from this marriage, except a derelict estate and a train of unhappy events, of which today's proceedings form the climax. As to my own association with her, it began on Tuesday evening of this week. It is already terminated. I have been told that I am no longer welcome at high noons.
I wonder you didn't marry her yourself. She's such a paragon of womanly virtues.
I should have been honored to do so, my lord. My only complaint against the lady is that she judged my cousin the better man.
You accept this balded ass as an answer to a charge of conspiracy and murder?
There is no such charge, my lord.
But there is, and I bring it.
Not in this court. Thank you, Lord Carlion. I think that is all.
There are other courts. Do you hear? There are other courts.
I grant that you intervened very handsomely. But if it hadn't been for you, I should not have been there. Tuesday of this week, indeed. The day I met you was the blackest day of my life. Not only slander, defamation, humiliation, threats of dispossession, prosecution, and to crown it all...
Murder, yes, it has indeed been an eventful week.
Eventful? Eventful? You heard Lord Bedlington's threat? He's going to take it to a higher court. Bow Street, Newgate Prison. No doubt after that, the gallows.
And he may well do so. You see, he wants possession of High Noons.
Then he may have it, for I intend to leave immediately.
That would be very unwise of you. He has accused us both of murder.
Both?
If you leave now, he may well claim it as an admission of your guilt.
My guilt? Then what's to be done? There must be something.
There is. You must find your husband.
Again?
Don't you think I'd be an improvement on Eustace? Even Uncle seemed to think so.
Oh, Lord Carlion, is this a proposal of marriage?
One might call it that.
If It may seem strange to you, but I've always considered marriage as a beautiful thing. A way of life, a happiness that two people can share. Romance. Even love.
Love? No, I suppose that would be absurd. No, this would be a mere formality, a stratagem.
Stratagem?
A defense against Bedlington's accusation. Once you were my wife, neither of us could be compelled to testify against the other.
Oh, you're insufferable.
Jenny, Wally.
He's still conscious, Mom. It's his back.
Ned, how bad is it?
There's not much time left. I have sent for Wickham.
The priest? Oh, no.
Yes, he's bringing the license. Eleanor, in spite of everything, you're not angry with me.
I could never be angry with you, no matter what you did.
I think you could.
Oh, no. I love you too much.
Wickham.
My lord,
Quickly.
the bride must take the hand of the groom.
How long do you think before he...
The body is not my concern. Where is Dr. Greenlaw?
Forbidden to come. His lordship said one was enough to see him on his way.
One what?
I love you.
And I. But you won't listen to me.
Ned, you must get better. If I should lose you now,
Now remember, not a word to anyone until after I'm buried.
Oh, you monster!
Wake up. Eleanor, wake up. You'll never be at the church in time.
He's dead.
Dead?
Oh, no, I remember.
It is Sunday. Mr. Wickham is to preach a few kind words about your late husband.
Has there been any word from Lord Carlion?
No, dear, not yet. Oh, it's lovely, isn't it? What a pity you can't always be a widow. Oh, good morning, Mrs. Barrows.
Good morning, miss.
Come in, Mrs. Barrows. Has there been any news from the manor?
Newham, but plenty from London. There's another relative arrived with a manservant and enough luggage to fill a barn. He says he's come for the service and to offer his condolences if he doesn't talk himself to death first.
Another relative?
Mr. Francis Cheviot. I put him in the tower room. It'll do him a power of good, a bit of stair climbing.
You make your inquiries at once, but warily, and report to me. Above all, I must know the extent of Lord Carlion's influence here. Next, if you... Wait a moment.
Come in. Oh, confounded, man. Look at these nails. I can't see my face in one of them. Yeah! I smell Indian tea. Away with you, woman. I won't have anything but China within a mile of me. Indian tea. And, woman, where, may I ask, are the hot irons? Do you expect me to show myself in church wearing a cravat like a dish rag?
I'm sure I do.
I will take a cordial at 10. And a light collation on return from the service.
Oh!
I shall dine in this garret at 6, and then begin to muster strength for the journeying back. It may take several days.
It's only 40 miles.
The mustering, woman, not the journeying. Now, don't stand there gossiping. Go and pour that poison to the pigs.
Did you...
What a chatterbox. Now then, if Neville has been here...
The insolence in stalling himself here.
Well, I suppose it's only right as a member of the family for him to attend.
He's just come to gloat over Ned's disgrace.
Or to make himself free with the house like everyone else.
Perhaps you should eject him.
So I would. If you weren't one of the most dangerous duelists in England.
Oh?
You wouldn't think it to look at him.
I have yet to meet my guest. Ah, here's the carriage.
Cheviot's compliments, ma'am. He is feeling indisposed and asks you to excuse him.
Oh, thank you.
Don't you worry, cousin. I shall be here. I'll keep my eyes open.
Thank you, cousin. I pray that you will.
What a relief, that silver. Now I can change into my muslin.
Has there been any word from Lord Carlion?
Nothing.
Where is Mr. Cheviot?
He's in bed yet. He tells me he has great trouble with his health.
Oh. I'm glad to see you are feeling stronger.
Thank you. My indisposition is purely emotional.
I fear the service was inconveniently short.
Frankly, yes. And yet I'm pleased it was short. I've met you so much the sooner, madam. Poor Eustace.
Yes, it was most unfortunate.
I mean, to lose you so soon.
Mr. Cheviot, what are you looking for in this house?
It is an affair of honor, madam. In these modern times, there are some who treat such matters lightly. I fear I must be old-fashioned.
Pray continue your search. If anything of mine can secure your honor.
You are very considerate.
May I ask what you expect to find?
In a word, ma'am, letters. Love letters. There is a lady much at court. A French lady.
Madame de Chevreul.
The same. A relative of mine was, well, shall we say, a friend of hers. And to be brief, he wrote, she kept. He offered to buy, she agreed to sell. The matter was delicate. And then there was an intermediary who, at the most crucial moment of the negotiations, died.
Eustace.
Eustace.
I see. Then surely these letters will be amongst his other papers.
Yes, one would think so. But he has no papers. Yes, madam. I must confess. I've already searched the house.
Lord Carlion has them.
Oh.
Perhaps you should confide in him.
I could scarcely do that. You see, this relative of mine was only one of the lady's friends. And if you'll forgive me, Lord Carlion was another. I see I should not have spoken of that. I was forgetting that you and he were...
If you are thinking of what was said at the inquest, sir, you may disregard it.
I'm glad. Glad that I haven't offended you. If I could write the beauty of your eyes, and in fresh numbers, and number all your graces, the age to come will say, the poet lies. Such heavenly touches ne'er touched earthly faces.
I am surprised, Mr. Cheviot, to hear one of the most dangerous duelists in England quoting poetry.
Someone maligns me. May I not quote my own verses?
You wrote that?
I was inspired.
But not by me. Why, we have scarcely met. You have spent most of your time in bed.
Madam, I write my best sonnets in bed. There's a time to write verses, and a time to speak them, and a time to...
Learn them?
The tender spring upon thy tempting lip shows thee unripe. Yet mayst thou well be tasted. Make use of time. Let not advantage slip. Beauty within itself should not be wasted.
I fell asleep. Has he? I've been looking for you everywhere.
Curious. I'd always thought the countryside was more sparsely populated. Your indulgence, madam.
What impudence. He would never have spoken like that to Ned.
Ned has never spoken like that to me.
Do you never think of love?
I, madame, an officer and a gentleman.
Now you are no longer an officer. You are perhaps no longer a gentleman.
Perhaps not. My friends won't speak to me. I've resigned from my clubs. Even at home, my own servants. What can I do? Where can I go?
Fontainebleau. There's a cottage in the woods. It is mine.
But I could not trespass upon your hospitality.
Trespass upon my hospitality. Oh, Ned.
You make the invitation sound irresistible.
But first, will you do something for me?
Anything?
For Fontainebleau, you will give me 15 minutes at high noons.
But there is nothing at high noons.
Oh, please. I want to find something there, and then we can sail to France.
And Napoleon perhaps will come to lunch.
It is settled, then. Why do you frown?
I've just thought of an obstacle. Civilians are not permitted to sail.
No.
Meet me at Billingshurst at the inn tomorrow at 10.
Yes? Oh, Mrs. Barrows,
As a judge of verses, ma'am, would you give me an opinion on something of my own?
Mr. Cheviot, this is my bedroom.
A most suitable place for me to read what I have written. This is the hour when, like a flower, she folds herself away until another day. And in this quiet room, her secret beauties bloom. It's a little rough, of course.
Rough. It's insolent, sir. Please, will you leave at once?
Next, I address your pillow. Rather a neat couplet. If only I could take thy place, and so enjoy that soft embrace.
Mr. Cheviot, will you please go?
I'm not sure that I've made my meaning quite clear.
I trust I have left you in no doubt as to mine.
Eleanor, the verses mean nothing. What I feel for you cannot be written down, or spoken, or even whispered. Let me forget what I've been. You can help me to redeem my misspent years, to fulfill my dreams.
Please, let me go.
Only you can do it. I knew that this morning.
Why are you here?
I return the question.
I have a right to be.
Oh, so have I. Eustace was cousin to both of us. We stand level in our claims to console the lady.
Was that consoling?
It might have been.
You had better go.
Well, it's been a very disappointing evening.
I thought I was to be a widow again.
Unfortunately, I made a very quick recovery. How long has he been here?
A few minutes only.
No, in the house, I mean.
Since this morning.
I see. And roaming the house all day.
Well, there was no one here to stop him.
Then I must look after my wife a little better. How did he get in?
Strangely enough, the same as you, he walked in.
But I am rather different, surely.
You ask a great many more questions, if that is what you mean.
I mean that we are married.
Oh, but that was a formality. A mere stratagem, as you said.
Do not be angry with me. It meant something more, believe me.
You give me small cause to believe you.
What do you mean?
I mean that you use me entirely for your own purpose. Consider what my life has been since I met you. Shootings, skirmishes, scandals, accusations, deaths, threats, and deathbed marriages, all with your assurance that my troubles are ended, your demands to be trusted without question. And now my very bedroom invaded. Do you wonder that I doubt you?
No, I do not wonder. I have treated you abominably. I plead guilty to all your accusations.
Well,
You see, the truth is I am cursed by an overbearing manner. I am impatient and arrogant. I ride roughshod over everyone. In short, there is nothing in my character to commend me to a beautiful and highly intelligent young woman. But I should like to think that you would not wish to change me from what I am, any more than I would wish to change you by 1 millimeter on the end of your nose, by one shade of the color of your eyes. Men worship at different shrines in different ways. Some may proclaim their passion to the whole world, while others are constrained by nature to hide their feelings. It is all they can do to bring themselves to their knees. Since I met you, I've ordered you about, married you to my cousin, married you to myself. In fact, the only thing I haven't done is to tell you. Something I cannot tell you.
I don't fully understand you, my lord.
It is but another of my afflictions. I am entirely inarticulate.
I didn't know you had so many words in you.
It is getting them out that tries me. But there is something you must know.
You've forgotten you're my husband.
Never.
You're going to divorce me.
Eleanor, I love you.
No, I don't trust you. You've thought of another awful plan.
I have. I'm going to tie Francis Cheviot to his bed.
Why?
Because tonight... Tonight we must not be disturbed.
We must not be disturbed. We must not be disturbed.
I thought you had retired, cousin.
I wanted a book. My room is rather cut off.
It is only for tonight.
Indeed.
You came here to pay your respects to Eustace's memory.
To his widow, cousin.
If that was respect. There is nothing to keep you here.
I'm prepared to argue the point.
By all means. For my part, you're as welcome to leave the house dead as alive. In either event, I shall order your carriage for 8 o'clock.
You're very determined, cousin. I think perhaps I will have a book after all.
Good. I think this should suit your mood.
Paradise
Lost. don't think Mr. Cheviot will. Helena, are you in there?
No, she is not. Go away.
I think Mrs. Macclesfield would never have brought you your tea. Still less have kissed you good morning. Will you wear this to remind you of my love?
I shall want proof of your love before I wear it.
Mrs. Barrows, what were all the goings-on last night?
And there was more this morning when Mr. Cheviot was sent packing. His lordship gave him a piece of his mind, and no mistake.
Ned was here. Oh, Cousin Eleanor, where is Ned?
I have no idea. But I think I heard him go out quite early.
He's avoiding me. He thinks I believe the things they're saying about him.
You must tell him you don't. I have.
You're acting very rashly, gentlemen. Remember, I enjoy the Prince's confidence. I've only to say a word of this at dinner tonight.
Not tonight, my lord. There's an alteration in the list of guests. Erased by His Royal Highness.
I see. Put not thy trust in princes.
You know Madame de Chevreuse?
All Louis Novelle, what is it to you?
You must answer, my lord.
I know the lady slightly. Who doesn't? Have you seen this before? Why should I?
Recovered by one of our officers last night.
The signature is General Cavert's. He gave it on your authority. I have it here.
You are not a wealthy man, my lord.
No.
Yet last week you signed notes of hand for gambling losses totaling £15,000. 4 days ago you redeemed them. Where did you get the money?
That is a private matter. A public matter.
A hanging matter. Where is the dispatch?
I don't know. Yes. Yes, it's true. I took it. Eustace was to have passed it on. Died that night.
Where is Novelle?
High noons. With Madame de Chevreuse.
High noons? And Carlion waiting for her at the inn. Who else knows what you've done?
Only my son.
Francis Cheviot. So he's in it too.
The blame's all mine. Don't harm the boy. I implore you to hear me.
We've heard enough.
Gentlemen, I appeal to you.
We still have 5 hours before we catch the tide. Tell me, if Carlion was so responsive, Why let him wait for you at Billingshurst?
I do not trust him.
Surely, dear Madame Callion has not presumed to measure his wits with yours.
You are ill-advised to speak of wits, monsieur. I'm going to the house alone. I shall deal with Mrs. Cheviot.
And if you fail?
Then I shall leave you to get it. In your own way. But this time there must be no mistake.
And tonight you must wear your white satin with the silver shells. No one could resist that. Oh, Eleanor, I think all your troubles are over at last.
Eleanor, cousin Eleanor. Please come in. My cousin would not forgive me for keeping you waiting. A lady in distress, cousin. May I present?
Madame de Chevreau.
Her horse had a loose shoe.
This is an unlooked-for pleasure, madame.
I'm sure it is. May I come in?
A loose shoe, indeed.
She is very attractive.
But not very inventive. Send Mrs. Barrows with a decanter. Oh, you.
What have you done now?
That charming clock. I have always admired it. Eustace once promised it to me.
No doubt he was being polite.
I will give you 100 guineas for it, if you have a mind to sell.
But I have not.
You know, 100 guineas is not to be despised. When one has already made a bad bargain.
I fear I do not understand you, madame.
Eustace Cheviot, it is a pity we did not meet before. I could have helped you make a better choice.
Tell me, are you making an extended tour of these parts, buying clocks and giving professional advice? It seems an unusual idea.
I see I must be frank with you. I had set my heart on this clock. For sentimental reasons. You find sentiment surprising?
Only in you, madame. A glass of wine?
Thank you. Let us drink to your success with Lord Carlion. He is to be your next conquest, I suppose?
In what way do my plans concern you?
In a very practical way. You see, if you indulge me in this matter of the clock, I will help you in your plans with Lord Carlion. I did not intend to be amusing.
No matter. I'm sure you did not.
Neither am I accustomed to being laughed at.
Oh?
Mrs. Cheviot!
No, madame, not Mrs. Cheviot. Lady Carlion.
Oh. The shoe is on, madame, and the carriage is ready.
I am more than ready.
Oh, Eleanor.
Leave me alone, Becky.
Oh, now she's upset you, today of all days.
What's so different about today? It's not French insults, it's midnight shootings. It's not shootings, it's spies and smugglers. I declare if a day passed without some small diversion of the kind, I'd die of boredom. Run along, Becky.
So this was the reason for your marriage to Cousin Eustace. I congratulate you, my dear. An ingenious scheme.
What are you doing here?
I came back for you. And, of course, for what you've just found.
I find you both together. A pleasant coincidence.
Came back for me.
We'll leave for France tonight. We'll go far together, you and I.
You must be out of your mind.
It's what we both want. I've known that since last night.
I hate you. Let me go.
All right, then stay. But I'll take the letter. Be still. Be still. I might have to tear your dress.
Mickey! Mickey!
Someone screamed.
Yes,
What's happened?
Found Mrs. Cheviot on the floor. This house is bedlam. Get the smelling salts.
What have you done to her?
Done? I've done nothing. He must have gone out through the window.
We must get her upstairs.
Yes, well, I'll take Mrs. Cheviot.
Leave her alone. Mrs. Barrows, please prepare my wife's room.
Your wife? Ah, what an informal announcement.
Eleanor, what happened? Who was it? Quickly.
Francis. Francis. Letter.
Stay with her, Miss Beckles. Your arrangements are one-sided. Am I to be executed?
By Francis Cheviot? Consider my reputation.
Get Nicky. Get Nicky.
Get it.
Oh, merciful heavens! There's murder going on in there.
Talia!
I am so sorry, Lord Cardigan.
This is what you wanted, sir.
Thank you, Major. You've done well.
We must thank my wife, gentlemen.
And so I came to the end of my adventures and found happiness and peace. Well, happiness anyway.